Thank you so much for being here. This is Ashwini Prasad, your host of the Inclusive Storytelling Podcast. If you're liking these episodes, please leave a review, download, comment if you're on YouTube, and share these episodes. Feel free to connect with me at theinclusivescreenwriter.com or on Twitter and Instagram at The Inclusive Screenwriter. In addition to being an anti-racism and anti-oppression educator, I'm a screenwriter, self-published author, and of course a podcast host. So if I can make our media more inclusive with you, feel free to reach out. All right, let's jump into our episode. Bayard Rustin was influential and pivotal in the civil rights movement in the United States. Because he was gay, his contributions and his face were purposely hidden. Rustin was born on March 17, 1912 in West Chester, Pennsylvania, and was raised by his maternal grandparents. He was the ninth of 12 children. Rustin's grandmother was a member of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, also known as the NAACP. Leaders such as W.E.B. Du Bois were around Rustin growing up, and the influence led to Rustin campaigning against Jim Crow laws. Rustin attended Wilberforce College, a HBCU, a historically black college in Ohio. In 1936, he was expelled after he organized a strike. He then attended what is today known as Cheyney University of Pennsylvania. Rustin continued his activism, and throughout the years, he continued his work. In 1937, he started studying at City College of New York, and in 1948, after years of continuing to do civil rights advocacy, Rustin, in 1948, traveled to India to learn about non-violent civil resistance directly from leaders of the Gandhian movement. Mahatma Gandhi is known for its non-violent resistance, which led to India's independence from colonial British control. Between 1947 and 1952, Rustin met with leaders of independence movements in Ghana and Nigeria as well. In 1951, he formed the Committee to Support South African Resistance, which later became the American Committee on Africa. Rustin was a civil rights nonviolent person and leader, and in 1953, he was arrested in Pasadena, California, for having sexual activity with two men in a parked car. Now, he pled guilty to sodomy, even though the act was consensual, and served 60 days in jail. In 2020, Rustin was pardoned. Now, the Pasadena arrest in 1953 opened the doors to Rustin's homosexuality to be coming to the public's attention. He had been very candid about his sexuality in private, but homosexuality was still criminalized throughout the United States in the 50s. In 1956, Rustin went to advise Martin Luther King Jr. Rustin was instrumental in the United States civil rights movement. Unfortunately, his sexuality was deemed a liability, and he was not in the spotlight for all of his work. Rustin, for example, was a major organizer of the 1963 March on Washington. His contributions to the civil rights movement in the United States, nonviolent movements, and to Martin Luther King Jr. are vast and instrumental. Rustin was a scholar and civil rights advocate throughout his life. He died on August 24, 1987. Rustin definitely deserves so much recognition for his work and who he was truly and authentically. Now, he actually definitely deserves a movie or miniseries, and he is supposed to get one that will be distributed by Netflix. I will definitely be watching this biopic. Thanks again for being here. And again, if you're liking these episodes, feel free to leave a review, download, comment, and share. And always remember, if I can support you in making our media more inclusive, feel free to reach out. I'm a screenwriter, podcast host, and an author, and I'm at theinclusivescreenwriter.com or The Inclusive Screenwriter on Twitter and Instagram.